Hey, Team Fuel, welcome back. A couple days late this week. Sorry about that. I wanted to address with you this week I wanted to talk about bullying because I think we all deal with that at some point in our life. And even if you aren't the target of the bully, you might see or know someone else that is. And so that's something that we want to know about, and we want to make sure that you're educated on it too. However, there are times where things are being called like a bullying situation, even though it might be more of a conflict. And so I kind of wanted to talk about the difference and what to do in both of those situations. So, bullying is like an abuse of power. It might be someone who's bigger, and that doesn't just because someone's bigger doesn't mean they're a bully, but they're using their power over you to intimidate you. It could be someone who just maybe for some reason, I don't know, has more friends or whatever, is making you feel small. Um, and being very mean about it, right? Um, Conflict is something that there isn't really someone who is using power to try and make you feel small. It's just a disagreement, and disagreements are something that happen with all of us, right? So I've got some notes with me, so I'll be reading some of those. When conflict occurs, everyone involved has equal power in the relationship. So maybe you're playing a game and you disagree with a goal or something like that, and you're just trying to resolve it. And both individuals might be emotional and upset. You might be having those strong feelings just because someone's upset and really maybe looking angry at you doesn't mean they're bullying. They're probably angry. You might be angry too. Um, but both parties, the goal of them is to want to go ahead and resolve that problem. So you're respectful of each other even if you disagree. Just because you get in an argument doesn't mean that there's bullying. It just means that there is a conflict that you're trying to resolve, right? Sometimes you do want to bring an adult into that to help you resolve it. I'm not saying don't tell on anyone, but I'm saying maybe bring an adult in and say, hey, let's get some help getting this figured out. So sometimes kids in conflict often want to solve the problem so that they can start having fun again. So if the goal is to try and solve the problem, like a disagreement on what happened in a game, something like that, to where if you know that you can agree on it, you can move on and be friends, that's not bullying, that's conflict. So you're intent on reaching an agreement so that the relationship feels restored, which means that we're back to being friends. We can go ahead and start the game again, right? So, characteristics of bullying. The goal is to hurt, insult, or threaten another person. There's an imbalance of power. So, a bully exerts control over others by intimidating, harassing, threatening, or humiliating them. So, bullying is also repeated and purposeful. So, if something is happening and you say, you know what, I don't like it when you say that, or I don't like it when you talk to me that way, or something that's repeated and it keeps happening anyway, that is bullying. If it's purposeful, if someone trips you and then they keep tripping you and it's on purpose and not an accident, that's a form of bullying. Let's see. Bully targeting the same people repeatedly with the purpose of hurting them. So, or maybe making others feel smaller or less than them. That is bullying. Bullying also poses a threat of serious emotional or physical harm. So, emotional harm might be like name calling or excluding others from play. Sometimes we're going to get excluded from a game. Maybe there's enough people playing today, but if it keeps happening every day, like, nope, we've got too many on our team, that's a form of bullying too. Making sure that you get your turn eventually, that would be more like, bummer, I didn't get to play today, maybe next recess. That would just be, it's not really conflict, but it's also not bullying if you're left out every once in a while. If you are continually left out, that's bullying. Let's see, the target is usually visibly upset. So target meaning the victim. So if you are visibly upset, or you see someone else visibly upset about a situation that keeps happening, you can also report if you see someone else getting bullied. Or in fact, we would like it if you would. So there's also no attempt to resolve anything. A bully doesn't look to resolve or become friends again. They just want you to feel less than them. Bullies are not interested in having a relationship with the person that they're bullying. However, not every hurtful action is bullying. Sometimes it's simply unkind behavior. There might be someone who does something once thinking that might be funny, and then maybe realizing afterward that didn't play out the way I thought it would in my head. Usually they're very quick to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. They might even get embarrassed themselves, right? And that's an opportunity to kind of build a relationship there too. Sometimes you want to bring an adult in, sometimes you don't. I'd say if it's something that you feel like you can resolve on your own, like just a quick, hey, I don't really like it when you joke like that, and they receive that, you can resolve that on your own. But if there's ever a time that you feel unsafe or you see unsafe behavior being done to someone else, that's when we'd like you to report. Let's see. It's important to keep in mind that conflict is an important part of growing up, but bullying isn't. So by that, I mean conflict, it teaches you how to give and take. It also teaches you how to come to an agreement and how to solve problems. Those are all things that you need to know how to do as an adult. Even adults have conflict, right? And there's times where you just have to say, okay, here's something we don't agree on, and yet I think if I explain my side and I listen to what you would like to do, we can solve something, maybe come in the middle. Then that's what we want. We would like you to learn to do. But the goal of bullying is only to wound other kids. So if that's what's going on and it looks like someone doesn't want to make something better, then that's when we want to pull an adult in to get some help, right? So it's good to have conflict resolution skills. That means learning how to take care of those things. Conflict resolution assumes that both people are responsible for the problem and need to work it out. You both make compromises, come in the middle, to agree on something. When you have a conflict, it's best to allow an opportunity to work it out between you and the person you're having a conflict with. But keep in mind, if it's something that's unsafe, to pull in a trusted adult. So in order to report a bullying situation, I know sometimes people feel like they're tattletaling, and so then they're kind of scared to tell on someone. There's a difference. If someone accidentally trips you or whatever, there's no need to embarrass them or make the situation worse with your friend by telling on them when you could say, oops, did you do that on purpose? They'll let you know, right? Now, if it repeats, I would say that's kind of a bullying situation. But if it's intentional bullying, whether that's excluding you over and over again, or calling you names that are unkind, or physically hurting you, that is a time that you report. We call that reporting, not tattletaling, because it's not tattletaling. When you are unsafe or see someone else being unsafe, we need to know about that. And so you can either tell the nearest trusted adult near you. That could be maybe a para on the playground, a teacher. It can be myself, Mr. Briggs-Hale, or a parent. Sometimes if you get home and you're like, that's not sitting well with me, I'm going to talk to my mom or dad about that. You can do that. But let someone who can also address that with a bully know. Another way you can do it, if you feel like you're not sure if it's tattletaling or not, you can make a safe to tell report. I'm going to put this up here. This is our safe to tell. You can call this phone number. You can also go to that safetotellco.org and you can make a report. That will actually go to both the local police station, and it will also let Mr. Briggs-Hale know of a situation that's going on in our school. So I know this is a long one today, but I just wanted to make sure that that was known, because that can be a really confusing process. So I hope that was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thanks for joining me today.